I designed a gauge cluster blank that fits in and bolts into the dash here. Welcome to the Haltech family. Ooh. Well, that's gorgeous. Doesn't fit at all. Is it gonna fit perfectly? Oh my Lord, that fits so perfectly. Oh no. First, it has been quite a while since we've been inside the car to do any type of work. This junction block that sits in the corner here that comes through the firewall was stripped out by me when I was trying to do these brake lines and fix the brake lines because they were leaking a little. Try bleeding the brakes. So this is what it looks like. Just a little splitter block thing, chase bays, stripped the old one out. And I leaked brake fluid everywhere and made quite the mess. And I have this little double baggy system set up currently to try to prevent a further mess. Now, I'm pretty sure it's all leaked out by now. Yeah. You can see the gigantic drip marks. The brake fluid just absolutely stripped all of the paint off. Wonderful. There's just no good way to get in here. Woo, got a cramp. Oh, so bad. Wow, okay. Well, that's on there. Okay. So we have that done. Now we need to refill the master cylinder because that all leaked out, and we might as well, I don't know if I should crack it and re-bleed the master. That's a thought. Here we are under the engine bay. Let's see how much of a mess we can make here. Leaks coming from over there when I pump the brakes. Hear a lot of air. I don't hear a whole bunch of anything else though. I think there's too much air in everything. It doesn't look like we're leaking over here so far though, so I mean, that's good. So I think we're gonna have to re-bench bleed the master cylinder. So I made up this first little adapter piece. This will screw into the front feed hole thing on the master cylinder and go right into the reservoir. Oh, it's gonna be a real tight fit. I'm gonna have to make one up for the side exit as well. Ow. Oh God, we're leaking badly. That next one is going to be incredibly difficult. All right, let's go bend up a line real quick. Yeah, okay. Those are definitely covered now. Sweet. Okay. So you should see. Oh. Now, as I hit the brake pedal and pump it, it should be blowing air into and then sucking fluid back through those pipes. What's happening? Is that what's happening? Are you guys watching for me? I believe that the master cylinder is pretty well bled at this point. Oh. Oh. No. Quick little update. We bled the master cylinder in the last clip, pretty sure. I also went around the car and I just kind of bedded all of the brake fittings into their appropriate connectors or unions or whatever they're going to be screwed into, which certainly helped in multiple locations going back all the way through the car with little leaks. There is currently nothing leaking. I have started the process of bleeding the rear brakes during that process. Unfortunately, I ran the back half of the reservoir dry. I hope that I don't have to rebleed the master, but we'll get to that when we get to it. I did make, one second, I did make this newer style of my previous brake master bleeding situation. This will screw into the side. This will go into the reservoir to bleed if needed. I wouldn't mind making nicer versions of these and actually selling them if anybody is ever interested. What I am planning on doing, though, is continuing on with bleeding the brakes. I think what I want to do is bleed the front brakes as much as I can. I am already getting a little bit of stiffness in the pedal, which is fantastic. And continue on with the rear brakes. I'm going to have my wife help me pump the brakes and then do the good old pump, 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 hold, tell me when it's on the floor, open and close the bleeder type of dealio. And we'll see where we go from there. Boom. Called my friends over at Eaton Motorsports and they had the Haltech hookup for me. Got a CAN Keypad. This is, oh, here we go, 2x4. We'll open this guy up. And this right here, Haltech IC7 Display. I'm excited for this. This will fit in the gauge cluster that I 3D printed and showed you guys earlier. We will move this to the side for a moment. Show you guys the keypad. I already cut the seal with my thumb. Alright, so here we go. Oh, that feels great. This is going to look great in that switch panel. This would probably be the connector for that guy. Cool. That must be for CAN. And a longish CAN cable. Sweet. We have button stickers. These are pretty cool. Nice. So that'll be fun to install. We got to get printing on that switch panel. Onto this guy. This beauty. What does this say? You see that? Welcome to the Haltech family. Well, thank you. Ooh. Well, that's gorgeous. Component kit. Dash. USB cable. Look. Ooh. Look at this thing, though. Holy moly. It's got a little bit of heft to it. That's heavier than I expected. The whole case is like metal. This is nice. This is going to look great. This is going to look fantastic in the car. I am very excited about this. You guys should be too. Put that back so I don't wreck that. Oh, we got more stuff in the box. What is this for? This must be for the back of this, right? Yes. Okay, it goes there. Another CAN cable. Cool. So that plugs into this guy. And I guess I can use the rest of these pins for inputs or outputs as like an I/O extender for the ECU. That's cool. Sweet. And this is some type of serial cable. Looks like the stuff that I used to do on boats, like the NEMA 2K stuff. Interesting. Yeah. So what do we think? It's gonna look good, right? I think it's gonna look fantastic. I absolutely need to test fit this dash. I need to see how it looks in here. I know that it's gonna look amazing. Is it gonna fit perfectly? Oh my Lord, that fits so perfectly. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's just wild. And then we're gonna have the keypad somewhere over here. Oh, that looks so good. We're not screwed in, but yeah, that's perfect. Ta-da! What do we think? Turn this off so it's not in your face anymore. Oh, Yeah, what do we think? UK 300 headlights. It looks a little weird without the bumper and with the hood gray. I think it'll look better all white. The quarters, or fenders I should say, being blue also doesn't help the headlight situation. I think they'll look nice. And I mean, worst case scenario, we go back to the Morettes that are on Shiba. But not bad. And here we go. This is the good shot right here. You can see the flare in the back too. I think it really pulls it all together. We need to put the wheels on the car so that we can pull the car out of the garage and shimmy it over toward this side, so we have more room on that side to do the other sedan rear quarter panel. And that's kind of our next project. One thing that I want to do before I pull the car out and back in is finish putting the rest of the exhaust on this car. It is deafening in the cabin, and with nothing but an open downpipe, even with the cutout bolted shut, it is way too loud. So I'm going to try to pull the rest of the exhaust off of Shiba. I believe it's just the axle back hanging on it. Poor Shiba, getting torn apart. And we're going to finish putting the exhaust on this car if we can. Hopefully I don't need any hardware. I have a whole box though. I'm sure we can find something. All right, well, in a sort of good news, bad news situation, we did get the exhaust out of Shiba without really any troubles whatsoever. Bad news is we absolutely need new exhaust hangers. I guess I could show you the iterations of 3D printed parts for the dash, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna bring you in. Okay. An awful lot was done. Pretend that you can't see this. All right. So I wanted to replace this switch panel with something that mounted up in this area. I'm pretty sure that we got video of all of the 3D scanning. It's been quite a while since I did that 3D scanning, and I spent an awful lot of time designing a switch panel. I did not record it. It was on various different computers and pieces of CAD software, but we got her done. So this whole thing mounted up there gets replaced. We went through a few different prototypes and iterations. Let's see if I can go in order here. This was the first one. This is the first piece I made. This was printed in, I think, like copper PLA on a bamboo X1. I'm looking at the camera. You definitely can't see anything because that light's shining right in your face. So this was copper PLA, I believe, printed on a bamboo X1. And it fit right into that spot perfectly. All right, and so we kind of started working with this from there. Obviously, this does not have any holes for switches. Set that to the side. Next trial was this guy. So this was that same piece with switches, and it was printed as quickly as possible on a Mark Forged Onyx. And this side was facing the support and build plate side, so it's not as clean really. But that was okay. It was just a prototype piece. I came to realize that the headlight switches don't fit. Realized that pretty quickly. But again, this thing fit perfectly right in there, and you can kind of see what I was going for. Put that to the side. Next piece was this big end right here. This is printed on a Mark Forged X3 printer. Again, this side was down, so it had support and it didn't look all that fantastic. Pretty sparse population, but that is okay. This was kind of redesigned, and it just didn't come out. Wasn't right. It didn't come out right. The holes kind of line up. There's not really any way to access them. It was a bad layout, and the angles were off. This thing is obviously pretty bent already because it's just been sitting. Then we went to a whole different design, a little bit shorter so that it wouldn't interfere, trying to keep that same angle. This was printed again on the bamboo in a fun shade of PLA. If you look really close, no, it is not symmetrical. I tried actually cutting, since the mounting of that other one got weird, I actually tried cutting this in half and mirroring the entire thing just so everything was lined up and perfectly the same. Doesn't fit at all. From there, I decided, well, I know that the very first iteration fit absolutely perfectly, that copper PLA one. I took that and I started redesigning and working from there. And we wound up with two pieces. So I have this right here, which is actually two pieces. My friend at work, Ben, gave me the idea to do a two-piece construction so that we had the base plate and I could change out the face with all of the switches whenever I decided to alter the switch layout, which was a great idea. And using some heat certs, we have it connected, and this top second piece here was just to get the line underneath. And then I had this bottom piece to try fitment with the holes in the dash. Came out absolutely amazing. The angle was right. So we have our prototype pieces and we know that the angle is right. We can start redesigning from there. Put that to the side. Came up with this guy, which is the first base plate. It failed while printing, which is why that we didn't end up using it. But still fits perfectly. Added another, whoopsies, added another heat insert boss in the middle to help hold it up. Put that to the side. Now, move on to present day. We printed this full base plate again and put heat certs in it. See, it fits absolutely perfectly. We have all the screws in it. We don't have the switch panel yet. That'll get probably printing next week. We made these little support parts, which were printed on a Formlabs printer to brace against the downward parts of the roll bar here. This one kind of wants to pop out. So I'll put the screws back in. So this is kind of where we're at. I was going to glue the little support bars in, reinforce it with some plastic JB weld, and then print the switch plate. So even if we don't like the switch plate or how everything is oriented, we can redo it as much as we want. This is the other support bar. It's just a little slot. It fits in a hole on the plate here. It's just about like that. And those supports also have an internal cavity so that I can zip a zip tie through it. And this will be pretty well locked in place, which is great. The next and biggest 3D printing project I did was, oh geez, I designed a mold, I designed a gauge cluster blank that fits in and bolts into the dash here. I'm just going to slide my buttons out of the way. And then I traced and scaled the Haltech drawing of the IC7 dash and inlaid it in to create a gauge cluster Haltech IC7 dash. These are available online to purchase. I forget what company makes them. I think they injection mold them for this exact thing, but I said, I thought to myself, you know, $300 for that or $70 in material. This was a bigger expensive print on the Markforged X3. $70 in material was better than $300. This thing fits absolutely mint. We did order Haltech IC7 dash as well as a Haltech 2x4 keypad, CAN keypad. Both of those have come in and I will do an unboxing video of those. I will say, I cheated you guys. I do apologize. I took the IC7 out of the box and put it in there and, oh, chef's kiss. This is the best thing I've ever 3D designed and 3D printed. I might actually try to market and sell these, and because this is great. So there's all of our 3D printing projects, and you're now up to date on 3D printing. Okay, we're gonna go for first startup of the dash and test the CAN system. I don't have a CAN hub yet. That is on order. so that we can connect both the keypad that we installed the other day. A little dirty. There we go. And the dash that I have just kind of sitting in our dash cluster, I guess. So we want to power the dash up, and we also want to load the layouts that we had created the other day. So let me turn the battery power on real quick. Whoops. Battery power has been on. That's kind of sketch. That's okay. All right, so we have our little USB connection cable here. This guy just screws into the back. We have our CAN cable and the rest of our connectors. So all of the empty pins you see are for other inputs and outputs, which is great. So we can expand upon what we have and maxed out actually in the ECU. So that's great. Ooh, jeez. Wires coming out from under the dash. Get our USB cable here. Plug that in. Plug our CAN cable to connector to the ECU and give power in. Open up the ICC software. Give her power. Oh shit, it's booting! Oh dang, it's booting up! Whoa. Whoa, that's gonna look so good. Oh, that's gonna look so good. I'm gonna leave the film on to protect it for now, but I want to send this to the dash. Sending, rebooting. There we go. We have our updated dash with all of our different settings that we set, as well as our own custom alarms. That's awesome. Can I clear alarms on here? I can, but that does not clear them on here. What's the way to clear alarms? There we go. All right. Well, that's cool. Should we see what it looks like? Oh man, that looks so good. I want to leave that on to protect it, but maybe we should give it a start up. Charles is going to be loud. Time to shut her down. Cool. Well, that's pretty exciting. We need that CAN hub module, and then we'll be good. Well, that's awesome. I'm gonna call it for right now, and we'll see where we go from here. I didn't really think of an intro for this particular part of what I'm doing here. I don't remember exactly where we left off either, which is problematic. What I am doing right now is draining all of the coolant, aka just water, out of the car because it's getting kind of cold at night and I don't want it freezing if there's a particularly cold night here in the garage. I'm going to take advantage of the warmth while I can. I'm going to pop the hood, remove the cap from the expansion tank, and I'm going to just yank the lower radiator hose right off. It is leaking anyway, and I happen to have a replacement OEM hose and Samco silicone hose, so we'll throw one of those two back on once we refill with some Subaru coolant and maybe a little bit of water to make up the difference. Cool. Alright, we just gotta stop pussyfooting around here. only slight mess.
There we go. Well, might as well do the upper one too since I have it. Not bad for some free fitty hoses. Hoses connected. Sweet. Cap down. Oh, I already reconnected the lower radiator hose. For those that are keen enough to have noticed that we didn't do that on camera. I wasn't going to move the camera mount. Oh, I'm doing so good. Stop talking, Matt. Oh yeah. We will continue filling with some new distilled water. And I know this won't be a true 50-50, but it'll be close enough for being garage kept. Cool. Jesus, all right, get out of the way there. All right, now if I start pouring in here, we should see that kind of bubble up a little. Or want to. Yeah, it wants to. Okay. Freezing temperature crisis averted and leaking lower radiator hose replaced. 2-for-1 deal today. Well, hello. I did a little bit of work on the tune and I wanted to try a couple things out. I think I fixed the issue with the flex fuel sensor not coming up or showing any content. I think I just had it on the wrong sensor. Fixed that. One thing that I did when I redid this switch panel was I believe that I fixed the alternator dummy light to turn off when the car was charging. We're not going to attempt that now because we're not starting the car. But I do want to see if this is going to work. We still don't have a CAN distribution block, but I also have keypad assignments now. How do I turn the power on? Keypad should turn on. We're loading up here. Where's the button to write to the ECU? Alright, so with the new map, this is boost control. This will be fan override. I don't remember what this do, but this obviously turns the fans on. This will be, so this is now error acknowledgement. This is data log. Fan low, fan high. So this should hold on now. Yep, there we go. Engine protection override. And that's acknowledge error, override. Oh, this is currently the Killswitch, but I would also like to assign it. Alright, so I think I just was able to add a condition. Alright, so and it should start right up right now. Yeah, so Jesus, so that's all the way off, right? So
Jesus. It should say kill switch on though. Why? Oh. With that off. Ugh. I'm gonna have to think about this. What if I set this as keypad 2? Or maybe I have to make a generic switch. I can fix this. I need this to be on. Why is this not like resetting though? Why is this shutting off? Oh, Jesus. Well, that ain't right. Okay, here we go. Why is that an or? I wanted it to be and. Alright, let's reboot. Cool. Alright, we have a kill switch key and keypad so that we can turn the kill switch on and crank without starting. That's nice. Okay. Nice, that's working exactly how I wanted it to now. Alrighty. Well, I think I want to throw a couple stickers on there and then probably going to call it quits for the night now that the garage smells quite badly. Sweet. Save. I do have to put this thing back up on jack stands so we can start working in this area, but while I got this window section kind of in my teeth, we're going to mask off the quarter panel the same way we did the other side. I'll start by cleaning up this area first.